So inside wire content now, we want to go ahead and have some more details inside our product resource for the variations, because we're going to have different types of variants. So this is actually going to be a select input. We're going to choose the options from an enum. So let's go ahead and say PHP artisan make enum. And in this case, it would just be inside app. And in this case, we have enums. So let's go ahead and say enums. In this case, let's call this product variant type. So if we go ahead now, actually let's just move this out here, sorry. So if we go ahead now and say product status, for example, as an example in here, we want to go ahead and call this product variant type, of course. And in here, let's go ahead and get rid of all of them except for draft for now. So in here, we're going to have different types. We're going to have range, for example. This will, for example, be sizes. So we're going to have an option in here for color, which is going to be different colors. Range will also include size, so that could be range size. And then we want to have that for now. So what we go ahead and do now is we're going to go ahead and make a select instead. And let's go into our example here where we have an enum used, or a select actually. So let's go into our article resource. In here we use article options. So let's go ahead and do that. Inside our option here then for type, we're going to go ahead and make this searchable. And let's say options here and import this enum. Let's go ahead and just delete all of these for now. Save the change. That's fine. That's because of Melisage not running, so don't worry about that error. You can see we have range and color here. And then what we're going to start working on now is actually, depending on if it's range or color, we may want to change things around. We also want to go ahead and be able to upload multiple images. So if you go ahead and say file upload, and in this case we can actually go ahead and use the curator here. So in this case we have curator picker here. And the only issue here is that we don't really have a relationship here, so maybe for now we're gonna just have to call this. We can try to see if this works, but we may have to modify a few things around. So let's just go ahead and modify this with Pine. So we can have, for example, multiple here. So let's go ahead and see what that makes it look like. And you can see we can also go ahead and order these images, so which one will appear first. You can go ahead and say, in this case, let's say color, and let's say blue. So this is for the blue color. We have only 10 of the blue. Let's go ahead and actually run Melisage. And then I think just go ahead and make sure we delete this database there. So we've restarted the database. That should hopefully fix it here. So if we go back in, let's see what happens. So we have the images here and it loads fine. That's actually perfect. And we can then order it as well. So let's take a look in the database and see how this looks stored. But before we do that, let's go in for blue in this case and have a size in here. So that would be, for example, size 12. And we can go ahead and say range. We have 10 of them. And also, let's go ahead and make sure the images are not required, because we don't want to necessarily have images of size. So let's go back in here, set type as range, call size 12, and put 5 in, save the change, and then let's take a look in the database. So if you go into wire content, there we go. If we go into products, in here we should now have variants. So with Table Plus, I have this super neat editor here. We have in here children, and we have the images here. So that's the ID for the images. And if we then go ahead and take a look at images in here, it goes into ID 1 here, so that works fine. The images just need to be uploaded to product. But essentially what we can now do is we have the option in here to add these images in, add the different sizes, and store them. So we can have, for example, blue has size 12, but we also has a size 10, for example, in here. And then we can go ahead and say range. And then you can say 5 here. And then in the next video, what we want to go ahead and do is for the colors, you can either A, choose to show a pre-selected photo, which will be option B, but if the user instead decides to put in a specific color using the color picker, they would then be able to show the color instead in a small circle. Otherwise, it'll show up as a picture of that item. So we will choose either or, and it really comes down to what the user prefers. So if the color is set, it will go to color by default. But if the image is set and there's no color set, then it'll go to the image. So that's basically what we're going to be doing there, and how we're going to essentially work with these different sizes here. So this is quite a nice way, I think, personally, to visualize it. So this is essentially how we're going to store it, and gonna then render this out on the front end and manipulate this data. So that's all for this video. Thank you very much for watching it. Please hit the like and subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next video.